Zach for the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. Race number 2 at Slovakia Ring is about to get started. And these are my lovely colleagues. Actually, it's one colleague of many from the television station that we're like broadcasting with. And he's also a DJ. And I was like, okay, until the trucks finally made it out there for the first interviews, it's time to show you a DJ flashy for a second and a half. Just turn up the music a little bit so you know what's going on down here. Okay, this is not how we normally work, but this is how we keep the mood up, even if there is like bad weather out there. And as you can tell, there are also like guest starting other cups all around, ETRC Europe, Eastern Europe, for instance. And the track is available for the trucks now. Everybody getting ready for the starting grid. And until I made my walk over there, it's time to say hi to our commentators, Jess Draycott from UK, Fonsi C for the Spanish crowd, and Joachim Ebi Eberts for the German-speaking fans of the European Truck Racing Championship. And yeah, I will hand over and then we will go over to the next topic. See you in a sec.
Thank you, Lena. Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 1 in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. My name is Chaz Draycott, commentating from the UK today. I'm happy to say for everybody there on the ground at the Slovakia Ring, the weather is much nicer there than it is here. It's currently absolutely throwing it down here in the UK in typical British fashion. But let's have a look at the highlights of the first race of the day, shall we? As we are already one race deep into today. As you can see from these shots, it was very, very warm, very hot, and the action was not just on the circuit, but in the sky above it as well, with a wonderful aerobatics display ahead of this morning's first race. It was Norbert Kish and Jochen Hahn on the front row of the grid, Sasha Lenz and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez taking up the second row of the grid, with René Reinert and Antonio Albacete behind. On the first attempt, we had an unfortunate red flag. Some contact between Mark Taylor, Stefan Faas and John Newell would put John off and in the gravel, bringing out the red flag. Mark would be found at fault for that and get a 5-second penalty a little bit later on further down the line. But all trucks, luckily, were able to be repaired enough to make their way back out onto the circuit and take part in the second attempt at the race. Norbert Kish led us away, with Jochen Hahn second, Sasha Lenz in third, and then the battle's begun. John Newell had to defend later on in the race from the likes of Mark Taylor and Luke Garrett, while Stefan Faas had a big old fight with Louis Requenco, eventually ending up in unfortunate contact between the pair. Steffi Halm had to hold on ahead of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, while Sasha Lenz was also defending ahead of René Reinert, Sasha trying to grab his third podium of the season. There was bodywork, there was yellow flags, there was a lot of high temperatures, but Norbert Kish would reign supreme and take his 7th race victory of the season ahead of Jochen Hahn and Steffi Halm. Bradley Smith taking the victory in the Chrome class in fantastic style, with second place going to Stefan Faas, third place going to John Newell. There is the wonderful pace truck, the official pace truck of the championship, the Iveco S E-Way, and we're going to head back down to Lena.
It's time for reverse grid, and those who are new to the European Truck Racing Championship might be like, what exactly does it mean? Actually, those who finished first are going to be on 8th position now and reverse 8th to 1st and so on. But my colleague Christina Run, she took the time at Lausitzring last race just to speak to some drivers and to explain even more what it means to the starting people, and also all about the routes and whatever comes with it. Check out for yourself.
And often in those reverse grid races, you see that red beast at the mirror at the back. And also Norbert Kish. Do you know about the nickname that we have for you in this situation?
Oh, the Pac-Man.
Yeah, the Pac-Man, because he's trying to eat everyone. So how do you manage to get... Yeah, absolutely. How do you manage to get through in those situations?
You never know. Because it's always different, and this is why I like the reverse grid race, because it's never the same. Well, the first thing is look for your hand. If he's on the inside of me, if I can do something about that, and yeah, sometimes already at the first turn I can have a good position because of the trucks in front of us, and then and then overtake the biggest opponent, then it's a bit easier from there, because then I know that for the championship, for the points, we're okay because we are gaining, and then after that, I'm just looking for opportunities, and try to stay close to people, try to attack them, make them move, make them defend, and then usually something happens, But it's always a bit of a chess game. Where like I said, I try to make them move, try to make them defend, and then, maybe after, 3 or 4 turns, when you can make them move every turn, eventually they make a mistake, and then I can go. So, yeah, nobody's impossible to overtake.
Yeah. And she's the one with the golden elbows, Steffi Harm, always defending so hard. What is important to enter a reverse grid?
Yeah, to enter the reverse grid is always very special because the start is the first, how can I say it, busy moment where you look for sure to make as many positions as possible, but to stay safe, don't have any crashes, no damages on the truck. And sometimes it's not so easy because not the fastest ones are in the front. So the field is really tight, and you're not allowed to make a mistake. And so reverse grid is a more special race, and I think the most interesting race of the weekend for the spectators.
And also a chance for those, for example, competing in the Chrome class if they are in the front row. So what is that for kind of a situation for drivers who are not absolutely experienced like you are?
It's a strange situation. When you finished 8th in the first race, or you have the pole position for the second race. I remember when it was many years ago, the first time I had something like that, because you're in the front, everybody will look at you, but you're not the fastest. So I think it's just important to stay calm, to be concentrated, and to do the best. Because sometimes it works, because if you don't make a mistake and the track is difficult to overtake, you can win a race and be not the fastest one on the track.
Thank you very much to Christina for getting the insights into the reverse grid races just earlier on this season. And yes, it's one of the most interesting moments of the weekend. We have to think about how the drivers are going to make their way through the order. It's difficult at certain circuits. It's a little bit easier at others. We've seen fantastic displays from Norbert Kish around this place before. The last 2 seasons that we've been here, he has taken what we call the Grand Slam, taking all victories over the course of a race weekend. I'm so sorry. That's Ralph Greger, I believe, who used to be our official truck driver in the Ford F-Max quite a while ago. Good to see him still involved there with the Don't Touch Racing team. Sven Walter was there as well. The guy's having a good laugh, at least. And now, all the trucks come to a stop on the grid, prepare for the race, and we once again have Norbert Kish and Jochen Hahn on the same row of the grid. In reverse order this time, Jochen starting the race from 7th on the grid, Norby starting from 8th, and it will be Bradley Smith on pole position with Jose Eduardo Rodriguez alongside him. Bradley in a great position to take his 2nd Chrome win of the weekend, but we'll find out how that goes in a second. I'm going to be quiet while we look at the wonderful Csaba Bako, and we'll welcome our TV audience from around the world. Be back in a sec.
Welcome to the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship and race number 2 of Slovakia Ring. In the 2025 season, it's very crowded. Look over there, a lot of fans are waiting. Norbert Kish told me beforehand, as there is no race happening in Hungary, a lot of people are coming over, so it's kind of his home race. And it's reverse grid, of course, for race number 2, so he's starting out from the 8th position. Everybody is like finding wherever destiny brought them and the first race brought them today. We had a red flag already, but we got a restart, not too much damage happening, a lot of happy faces. New people, new trophies, so let's see how this race goes. Race number 2 mostly is the more exciting one, as there's even more fighting. More people trying to like squeeze into the front, so let's see how the story goes. And until everyone is set down here and we have an interview, I'm handing over to our commentator, Chas Draycott. See you in a sec.
Thank you, Lena. Hello, everybody. Chas Draycott here, commentating from the UK on the 3rd race weekend of the 2025 Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. And Slovakia Ring, always an exciting venue to be a part of. I just was going to mention there, actually, as we look at Sasha Lenz's truck, you could just see in the background Connie Tolkun from the FIA. She's just scanning the tyres now. All the tyres contain a chip within them, and all the tyre sets have certain identifiers, basically, to make sure they're on the right vehicle, they're used in the right session, and to make sure that tyres are legally used across the race weekend, basically. Connie is scanning those tyres, and the eagle-eyed of you would have seen her doing that in the background just behind when Lena was doing her presentation. It's a really cool process and an interesting part of the weekend. Some championships you'll see may have a little pair of bollards at the end of a pit lane that scans them on the way out, which is quite interesting. Here's the circuit, Slovakia Ring, 14 corners, nearly 6 kilometres. Massive challenge, this place. Really shreds the front tyres. The front left in particular has a difficult time. It's nearly 30 degrees Celsius as well at the Slovakia Ring. It's going to be a big old hot challenge for the drivers and teams this afternoon, just after 3 p.m. local time. And certainly different weather to what we've got in the UK right now, I can tell you that much. As I look out my window, it is throwing it down. But that is by the by. The drivers and teams are heated up and excited. Stefan Fast is on the grid, which is good to see. And so too is Lena.
So am I, and we have a new family member, Eurowag it is. They just became our sponsor and a partner of the European Truck Racing Championship. It's the first time over here at Slovakia Ring, and earlier I had the time to do some interviews, just so you know who, like, you will see more often for sure when it comes to truck racing. Check out for yourself. We have a new partner at the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. Speaking about Eurowag, and this is your first time on site on racetrack here at Slovakia Ring. And Mr. Novak, what does it mean to you to be a part of this family now?
I think it means a lot. Look around, it's all about the passion and technology. As we are at Eurowag, leading technology company in commercial road transport in Europe.
Truck racing is the perfect topic for you because people can find you on the streets as well. A lot of people might be like, Eurowag, I have seen this before and I've heard this beforehand. Where exactly are you to be found?
We are available across all Europe, really, from Turkey to Baltics, having over 100,000 fuel spots. And specifically in terms of sustainable fuels or low carbon fuels, we have also very, very wide network.
Sustainability is a huge topic at this championship. So what do you provide to shift up the green transportation topics?
Another beautiful reason why we are here, actually, because we matches with championships vision, like sustainability and responsibility. And we are at Eurowag very committed to make this business, a commercial road transport industry, more fair, clean and efficient.
And as you just mentioned, you have a huge network all over Europe offering sustainable fuels. Speaking about HVO, which is run by these trucks as well over the racetrack. Yep. I meant to drink it. It's vegetable oil, but I think I shouldn't.
I don't recommend
but I think the trucks will like it.
Yeah, but it's definitely drop-in fuel available at over 1,500 fuel spots in Europe. So yeah, it's very popular because there is no need to any adjustment to the engines or trucks specifically, like coming out of the order. So yeah, it's really drop-in fuel.
So whenever you're on the road being a truck driver, maybe all over Europe, down to Turkey, we heard it, just have a look for Eurowag and you might be surprised and become a part or a fan of Eurowag in the future.
Definitely, we are really ready to serve our customers, and being here like close to our community of drivers and dispatcher means lots of us.
And there's so much more to discover, so thank you at this point, because I will head over there where the fans are waiting. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Betty, good to have you, because there's so much offered for the fans as well. Speaking about your own Slovakia ring that has truck racing on it, which is very rare. So a brilliant idea for the fans.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we are kind of surprised, and the reaction of our visitors really exceeded our expectation. They are really enjoyed it a lot, so it makes us happy, and we are also trying to give them, you know.
Speak there, from there. Yeah.
And once they are leaving with the medals on their necks, they are really feeling like a winners, which is great.
And it's also very smart, because the next generation is coming. Speaking about like alternative fuels and stuff, they have to learn somehow. So this is a very nice access to bring them to all these topics.
Yeah, all the sustainable is super important for us. And yeah, we are really meeting the strategic pillars of our brand with this race, which is definitely great. But next to the racing experiences, we are also giving them a small merchandising like stickers and tattoos, cold drinks or chips. And next to it also we are trying to give them the new ideas why to transform their business to us.
Yeah, transformation is the next topic, and I don't know see, and I don't want to make you wait. No. I think every kid is actually dreaming of having a real alive transformer. So I'm already a fan, and I hope this is not the only time we will get to see him.
Definitely not. We are also super proud for this idea, and everyone is welcome to meet us also in the Nürburgring at July and also Jarama in October.
So you choose two of the biggest events for sure. So many truck racing fans will be around. And I'm pretty sure everyone who has questions, who wants to learn more about Eurobike, just come by, ask your questions. I'm pretty sure there are enough people to answer them.
Definitely. Everyone is welcome, and come and stay with us here.
So thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
Looks like a great amount of fun down there with Eurovag in the paddock. They really have brought a lot to the party this weekend as part of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. And big thanks to them for being such a strong partner of the series. But like we've said, bringing such a fun element with them. That was all the personnel making their way off the grid and making sure that the grid is clear for just the trucks, the stars of the show. And one of the stars of the show is on our screens right now, actually, the Ford F-Max. This machine is part of a range that was designed and tested by 500 Ford engineers and eventually became the 2019 International Truck of the Year. It's the official truck of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship, driven by our lovely Maeve Fisher, who does the Ford F-Max inspection lap at every single race. And it's just to make sure that, as well as parading this truck and showing it off as part of the partnership, it's also to make sure there's no debris, no spillages, nothing on the circuit that could cause either a delay or a stoppage to the upcoming race. It's wonderful to have this machine as part of the paddock. We have the orange one that you see on screen right now, but there's also another one in the paddock that's been revamped for this round of the championship, and you will see that again tomorrow. The eagle-eyed of you might have seen it in the background of some of Lena's interviews as well. But as you can see, once again, it looks like it's really gloomy at the Slovakia ring in places, but there's just such humidity in the air that it just looks like the skies are grey, but they're really not. It's very hot and sunny at the Slovakia ring right now, nearly 30 degrees Celsius. It's a very warm day, and the 30-second board is about to be shown at the front of the grid, and shown with great flamboyance as well, it seems. There is the number 11 of Bradley Smith, starting from the very front of the grid. He's going to be on pole position with Jose Eduardo Rodriguez alongside him. This is a great opportunity, this, for Bradley to score big points over his Chrome Championship rivals, because he's going to be in first place. There's 7 Titan drivers behind him, then Stefan Faas in the Freightliner. So he's got the perfect opportunity to score big points here over the likes of Mark Taylor, who we see on screen there. After that previous race, Mark Taylor has dropped back into second place in the championship in Chrome, 5 points behind Bradley. Mark had a 5-second penalty that dropped him a few more positions. Bradley would have led it by about 2 or 3 points, but that extra drop in positions has cost Mark dear. And that was his first finish of a race this season when he wasn't on the podium. He's had 2 DNFs, granted, but every time he's finished a race, he's been on the podium in Chrome so far this year. Here's the Iveco S-E-Way, the electric pace truck of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. We have the electric one and the bio-LNG powered one as well. Very sustainable methods of powering their Ivecos. And as one of the main players in the global transport sector, they are continuing to revolutionize the machinery. And they are such a massive commercial provider. It's great to have them on board as part of our series. Just wondering what the situation is here with the grid, because we should have Bradley Smith, then Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, then Steffi Hallman, then Antonio Albacete. But Antonio, seemingly not on the grid there. You can see in front of the white truck on the left and the blue truck on the right, which is Sascha Lenz and René Reinert, Antonio Albacete is not there. How very strange. We'll try and get to the bottom of that one for you all. But Bradley Smith starts on pole position. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez alongside him. Jose Eduardo will be eyeing up a victory here for sure. Steffi Halm next up. Antonio Albacete is in 4th place, or he would be, had he made it to the grid, but not there. René Reinert will start from 5th position on the right-hand side with Sascha Lenz alongside him on row 3. And with the missing Antonio Albacete, that means it may be an easier ride through by Jochen Hahn and Norbert Kisch. Next up, Stefan Faas and John Newell, the next two in the Chrome class. Luke Garrett and Clemens Hecker next up on row 6. And then on the 7th row of the grid, we have Mark Taylor and Louis Requenco, both of them involved in dramas earlier on, which knocked them down the order. And they're just ahead of Christian Ruppert, who continues to improve and get used to the MAN with which he is racing in the championship. So it's a nice packed grid for this one. Minus Antonio Albacete, unfortunately. We're trying to find out why he's not there. There's quite the scramble for info. I would try and message Tim Frost, team manager, but he's a bit busy right now, I imagine. I wouldn't want to interrupt whatever the issue is, because let's face it, if there is a problem, they'll be trying to fix it now as quickly as possible. And now the field makes their way around and scoops through turn 12 down towards turn 13. But it's a real shame not to have Antonio there. Really, really strange. We'll try and find out, like we say. Thanks to Alice Holloway, who is in race control and trying to find out what the situation is. But we're about to get underway for the second race of the day here in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. It's Bradley Smith in the number 11 Iveco starting from the front row with Jose Eduardo Rodriguez alongside him. Steffi Halm with an empty seat next to her. And for the second time this weekend, we get underway. The grid fans out into their respective positions. And it looks like a solid start once again by Steffi Halm. It's close in the Chrome class there. Look, Stefan Faas and John Newell not getting away as well as they would have liked. Bradley Smith leads the field down into turn 1 for the first time. And he scoops in front of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, or does he? It was certainly close there, actually, as Jose Eduardo tried to get by on the left-hand side. Louis Requenco and Luke Garrett nearly having a bit of contact, I think. Or was that? No, that was Mark Taylor just down there. Apologies. Jose Eduardo now on the outside of Steffi Halm. John Newell and Stefan Fast side by side as well. Clement Ecker trying to get around the outside of Luke Garrett. Mark Taylor also in the mix. A bit of a wobble there by John Newell, losing the back end. Luke Garrett cuts over to the left-hand side, tries to get past his compatriot. Norbert Kish is boxed in on the outside there, on the outside of Jochen Hahn. He's got Sascha Lenz right in front of him, who was also trying to get past René Reinert as they all head down into turn 3. For the first time, there's not much room for manoeuvre down there. They all move around. Look at that quartet glued together. Steffi Halm has made her way up into second place. Jochen Hahn is trying to do his best there. The two of them still absolutely glued to each other around the right-hander at turn 6. Oh, I think maybe a little bit of a kiss there as Jochen closes the door on Norby. He's got Stefan Fast right up behind him. Look at Norby in the red number 1 here, though. He's going to try and go late on the way into the corner to work on the exit off the corner. Doesn't quite work out this time round. Apparently, Albasetti's issue was clutch related, I'm afraid. They weren't able to get the truck onto the grid in time. Massive, massive shame. And again, absolutely zero luck for Antonio and his team this season. His best result in the last 4 races has been 5th place overall. He's had 1 podium this season and 2 DNFs as well. Just 4 appearances in the top 5 out of 8 races. Not the beginning to the season that T-Sport Bernau want or deserve, to be honest. Everybody in the paddock is a hard-working team, but T-Sport Bernau upholds such a high image as well. They have an FIA environmental accreditation star as well, the T-Sport Bernau. They are an exemplary team in the paddock. The championship itself has a 2-star or 3-star FIA environmental accreditation award, I believe. As Steffi Halm goes through. A little bit of a push there onto the back of Bradley Smith, but nothing too untoward. And Steffi leads here at Slovakia Ring. Bradley Smith will lead the Chrome class by quite a considerable amount. Norbert Kish has got past Jochen Hahn as well, although I believe the two might still be side by side down towards turn 1. Norby has gone all the way over to the right-hand side. Jochen still tries to find the gap down the inside there. Doesn't work as René Reinert looks down the inside of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. Sascha Lenz says, thanks very much, mate. Good to see you again. Side by side they go. A little bit over the right kink there, and Sascha now makes his way up into 4th place. A lot more confidence from Sascha here at the Slovakia Ring, which is lovely to see. The whole pack is so close together. And it's Steffi Halm currently leading. Bradley Smith now holding on, much like he had at the Lausitz Ring. He's having to try and hold on ahead of a lot of Titan drivers. As Jose Eduardo Rodriguez trying to find any gap that he can to come through as they head into turn 6. It tightens and tightens through there. Is Sascha Lenz going to have any mercy at all in coming through? Maybe not. Almost a touch there as Bradley Smith tries to hold on in the Iveco. Then Sascha sends the move down the inside. Nicely done by Sascha. Makes it to the apex curb as well. Is he going to run Bradley out? Not really on the exit. Good fair stuff that. Lovely move by Sascha. He now goes up into 8th place. Just behind Bradley is René Reinert and Norbert Kish, the two teammates, Baloo Jr. and Baloo Sr., right together on track. Not far behind Jochen Hahn as well is Stefan Fast. Then it's John Newell, Clement Ecker, Luke Garrett and Mark Taylor. Taylor's not had much luck in moving forward as Bradley Smith again comes under attack. René Reinert going through this time. Bradley's using his head here. He's making sure that... Oh, well, a little bit of contact there with Norbert Kish. Bradley's making sure he doesn't fight the Titan drivers too hard, but at the same time, he's losing positions hand over fist now. He's not worried about the overall championship position, but he's worried about the Chrome championship position. He's ahead of Stefan Fast still, but look at that now. Stefan in the red Freightliner just behind is literally a truck a truck length or two away. Whereas before, At the beginning of the very first lap, there were 7 trucks between them. Norbert Kish making his way up the order now, up into 5th position. On to lap 3 we go. And there in the white and yellow truck is your chrome leader, but just behind in the red, silver and yellow Freightliner, Stefan Faas is ready to pounce. Is this going to be the time when Stefan comes back from multiple technical issues in previous rounds to take his first victory of the season in the class? We'll see. It's nice and close at the moment, isn't it? Look at that, the whole field basically separated by mere seconds. And there is the Chrome class lead. Stefan Faas, 2nd position, right behind Bradley Smith. And there is the overall race lead. Steffi Halm overtook Jose Eduardo Rodriguez just earlier on. And Jose Eduardo does not want to take that line down. He wants to get back through at the earliest possible moment, because he knows that some of the fast drivers, I mean, they're all fast drivers, but some of the usual race winners will make their way through this pack quicker than others, and he wants to be at the head of it before they start making progress. Sasha Lenz is in the mix as well, look. Norbert Kish all over the back of his teammate René Reiner. I wonder whether René will let him through at an opportune moment. They may be teammates, but they don't have to work together. I don't think there's much in the way of team orders. René isn't obliged to give that position up, but Norby pushing, getting closer and closer. First penalty marker of the race has been clipped by Clemens Hecker. That's the first warning to go out. Now you can see Bradley Smith really close with 2nd place Stefan Faas, and nearly contact between the 2 teammates there as René Reiner and Norbert Kish get very, very close. René is actually holding back Norby at this point from attacking the top 3 for podium positions. It's a great battle to see, though. Good stuff at the start of the race here in Slovakia. Norbert looks to the inside. Does he go later on the brakes? No. Watch this. He goes later on the apex to get it on the inside and give the other truck no option to cut back across. And he's opened the door there and he's put himself on the inside line. Fantastic move by Norbert Kish. Wow, it's so strange to see those things running side by side, isn't it? They're almost identical, but just in livery. You can see actually, especially from this shot, look at the water tanks further back in the actual layout of the truck as well. Norbert Kish's water tanks on Baloo Jr. are upright water tanks this season, as opposed to having them lay down horizontally. It saves space and means that they can have better weight distribution towards the middle and then the rear of the truck itself. And he's got better position distribution now as he moves himself up into 4th place ahead of his teammate René Reiner. Jochen Hahn wants to try and have a go at coming through. 2 trios at the minute, then the duets of Bradley Smith and Stefan Faas. No position changes there just yet. Bradley on for 10 championship points if he finishes where he is, in Chrome that is. Stefan on for 9, and that'll be his second place finish in a row if he ends up there. Unfortunately, that is not enough to put him ahead of Jonathan Andre, who's on 38 points to Stefan's 27. He needs 11. He's actually managed to find his way down the inside of Bradley Smith now. And Stefan Faas doesn't quite go through. Carries the speed around the outside of turn 5 into turn 6. Bradley tries to squeeze him to the apex, tries to take advantage, but Stefan Faas goes through into the Chrome class lead. Brilliant turnaround for this Freightliner and Stefan. After so many technical issues, he now finds himself at the front of the class on merit as well. Bradley dropping down. Not sure if nerves got the better of him a little bit there, but he's certainly not a slow driver. He's been absolutely brilliant to watch as Bradley. Continues to be as well. I do wonder if maybe he had an issue from earlier on. Wow, Stefan really pushing the Freightliner there. Now look at this battle at the front of the order. Steffi Halm with 5 trucks right behind now, 6 of them in a train for the race lead. Coming to the halfway point of the race, we're about to complete lap number 4 and get started on lap 5. Bradley Smith now has to keep an eye on the mirrors for John Newell, Clemens Hecker and Mark Taylor. Mark will see that Bradley isn't quite having the race that he would have wanted, and he'll try and pick out an opportunity to get by. Penalty marker warnings for Stefan Faas and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. And now look at them all fanning out there as they head down this huge start-finish straight. No point sitting in the slipstream in these machines. They are all governed to 100 miles an hour, 160 kilometers an hour. If they go over that, they will get penalties for overspeeding, usually resulting in 10-second penalties. Sascha Lenz now has Norbert Kish all over the back of him. These two have had some wonderful fights in the past. And you wonder, how hard will Sascha fight this one? You can see a battle developing in front of him here. He's going to want to take advantage of that. But Steffi Halm holding on here ahead of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. And Norby's gone for it. Norbert Kish goes down the inside of the number 3 machine into turn 3. I believe he's made that stick as well. Great stuff. Really confident on the brakes there, Norbert Kish. Seems like that's somewhere that he's able to just get that little bit more performance is on the brakes. And now, all of a sudden, he makes one move and he is right up behind the lead pair. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and Steffi Halm, very close together. It's amazing the speed at which he makes his way through the order. And not to forget that all these trucks run on 100% renewable HVO diesel as well. It's all clean racing. It's all very sustainable, all environmentally friendly. You don't see the huge black plumes of smoke coming from these trucks. We even have observers around the circuit as well that keep an eye out for such emissions, because it doesn't conform with the image of the championship and the sustainability that we try and uphold. So if there are any trucks found to have any black smoke emitting, then they will get a telling off and be kindly asked to return to the pit lane. There's that move from Norbert Kish again, tries to cut back to the inside line. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez saying, no, thank you, I don't want any part of that. The Portuguese driver, certainly a star. Incredible capability. And great persistence as well. Huge dust cloud over the start-finish straight there. That's from the actual midfield of the circuit as well. That's been blown over that way from down at turns 5 and 6. Jose Eduardo moves over to the right, says to Norby, nope, not coming through this time. This could play into Steffi's hands here if Norby attacks enough on Jose Eduardo. Then with the two of them fighting, it might hold them up a little bit and give Steffi a little bit more breathing room. Jose Eduardo is not going to take this line down. He's not going to just let Norbert Kish past without some hard work. But look, all of a sudden, as if there's a bungee cord on the back of Steffi's truck, Jose Eduardo closes in on the 44 Iveco. Steffi puts the truck in the middle of the road in the right place. Norby's going to try and go late around the outside here. We've seen him do this before. Means that he then has the inside line for the left-hander at turn 4. They're so close to contact, but would you look at that? Round the outside at turn 3. Pretty much gets it done before turn 4. Norbert Kish, incredible driving once again. That's the thing, he wins a lot of races, but he does it so cleanly and with such high-quality driving. You can't be mad at him for it. Top 6 all still together here. And once again, look, Norbert Kish deep on the brakes, tries to take it all the way around the outside. Steffi just has enough room to cut him off there. You can see he got on the throttle a little bit eager, kicked the back end out slightly. We've had penalty marker warnings for number 38, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, Rene Reiner and Mark Taylor. And still Norbert Kish continues on the attack. And it just isn't ending, is it? He's just always moving forward. And now attacking Steffi Halm. Looking down the inside, but this again is going to be the move that we've seen where he goes later to the apex. Look, Steffi gets to the apex straight away. Norby tries to dive back, cut down the inside, find that gap on the right. Doesn't quite work this time. Steffi's seen him do that one before. And doesn't let that one slip. And they head once again down the start-finish straight. And we've had another penalty marker for truck 42, which is Luke Garrett. We are now past 75% race completion. And look at this battle now. Norby this way and that way, trying to find a way around the red and white Iveco. As Christina rightly pointed out earlier in the season, golden elbows, Steffi Halm. And again, you can just see Norby trying to set this move up. Tries to get it done from one corner to the next, round the outside at turn 3 again. He's afforded room on the exit. Steffi still holds on though on the right-hand side. She's not giving this one up. Now the move is done. And through he goes. Epic stuff. Norbert Kish to the front of the field on lap 7 out of 8 here at the Slovakia ring. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez now still in touch in 3rd position. Sasha Lenz, Rene Reiner all waiting in the wings, look. Sasha tries to go late round the outside there and cut back in. Nearly goes off onto the gravel, has a bit of a moment. Rene Reiner 5th, Jochen Hahn 6th, Stefan Faas leading in the Chrome class. If he holds on to that ahead of Bradley Smith, which it looks like he will do with the pace that he's had, that'll be a very popular result. John Newell looks to be on for a podium as well, actually. That'll be John's 3rd podium of the year if he holds on there. There's Christian Ruppert. He may be at the back of the field and a considerable margin down, but he's still working on getting faster and faster and improving his time here in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. We're not ones to advertise for specific teams, but Christian and his fantastic enthusiasm and his wonderful team are looking for sponsors. There's a little message on the side of the truck that says sponsors welcome. There is Bradley Smith. He's not quite had the race that he would have wanted, Bradley. He dropped down considerably and has continued to do so as the race has gone on. I wonder if he's had an issue after maybe some contact or something and the truck hasn't been quite behaving itself. I'm just going to look at his previous lap time because Stefan Faas did a 2:45.7. Bradley did a 2:46.7. Norby did a 2:44.8, which is just crazy speed. Stefan Faas actually was quicker than all of the trucks in front of him except Norby. Stefan was the only one in the 2:45s last time round. But Bradley, I wonder, has had an issue somewhere. The trucks behind him were quicker as well. Clemens Hecker is on the move here. Onto the final lap of the race. Clemens Hecker will be looking to make a move on John Newell in this final lap. Clemens has had a bit of silverware this season. He had a 3rd, a 2nd, and then a 1st at Misano. Then another 3rd at the beginning of the Lausitz Ring weekend. Unfortunately having a DNF in race 2 at the Lausitz Ring, but then 4th place in the third race before the final one of the weekend was cancelled due to the conditions. But Norbert Kish, once again, putting on an epic performance, making his way through the field nice and cleanly. That's the thing, it's hardly a controversial way of getting through the order by Norby. He just knows the exact moment to pounce, how to set the moves up as well. That's the thing you can see. It's not just a senseless dive up the inside or anything. You can see that he's setting these moves up, corners in advance, and he's really methodical about how he does that. We'll see that as the weekend goes on even more, I'm sure. We'll see it as the season goes on. As long as Norby's career goes on, we'll see more and more of it. It really is a joy to watch him race, especially in these reverse grid races, with the way that he makes his way through the pack. And these performances command the respect of everyone else out there. You can see, look, he already knows the result here. Kicking the back end out round turn 12. He knows that the fans can see it there. This truly is a real amazing period of domination in this championship by Norbert Kish and Revesh Racing. And he heads around the final corner with an amazing drift around there. Look at that. And then transfer it to the left. Oh, it's quite a long transfer around there, so maybe not as easy. But for the second time today, and for the 8th time this season, Norbert Kish wins in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. Steffi Halm is second, and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez gets his first overall podium of the championship. Stefan Faas, with no bias here, you can tell I sound happy. Stefan Faas turns around all of these technical issues and takes a win in the Chrome class. Brilliant stuff. Oh, that is fantastic. That's a real feel-good story, that is. As Norby gets drifting away, Steffi Halm takes her 5th podium of the season. John Newell gets another podium in Chrome as well. That's his 3rd appearance on the podium this year. And I don't believe there were any penalties to give out or anything. So the result will be as you see it on screen right now, as I try and add it all frantically into my results sheet. But unfortunately, a non-start there for Antonio Albacete. Norbert Kish takes the victory. Win number 8 this season. Steffi Halm with her 5th podium appearance of the year. And Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, his first time on the podium as a Titan driver here in 2025. Great to see. More of that, I'm sure, to come from the Portuguese driver. That means now that in the championship, Norbert Kish has a 34-point lead over Jochen Hahn, who only finished that one in 6th place. And there is Stefan Faas, the number 24 Freightliner, wins its first race. And that is going to be a well celebrated podium, that is. He went from finishing in 2nd place in that earlier race to winning this one. Oh, that team will be so relieved. So relieved. Up to now, they'd had 4 DNFs. One did not start a DNS, a 5th and a 7th. That's all they had coming into this round of the championship. And they've instantly taken off here with a 2nd and a 1st in their class. That's great. Let's have a look at said result then, just to make sure that 1, my maths is right, and 2, that we've definitely got the result we see on screen. Norbert Kish wins. Steffi Halm in 2nd place. A great season for her so far. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez in 3rd. Sasha Lenz, strong stuff in 4th ahead of René Reinert and Jochen Hahn, with Stefan Faas taking that all-important win in the Chrome class. Bradley Smith 2nd, and John Newell joining him on the podium. He managed to just hold off Heinrich Clemens Hecker to the end. Then it's Mark Taylor in 11th. Not a great weekend so far for Mark, with a 6th and a 5th. Luke Garrett in 7th in the Chrome class, ahead of Louis Requenco and Christian Ruppert. So busy stuff down there on the circuit as everybody makes their way back into the paddock. But Norbert Kish, Well, what can you say? I've spent 4 years trying to continually come up with superlatives for Norbert Kish and this epic team of Reverse Racing, but they have such a dominant chokehold over the championship at the moment. It's not a negative thing. It's a brilliant thing to see. You have to admire the performance and the capability of them and this machine. This being Baloo Jr., the new truck for this year. And Steffi Halm, another podium. That's the first time she's finished second overall this season as well. 80 points now for Steffi. She is 8 points clear of René Reinert, 18 points clear of Sasha Lenz, and then another bunch clear of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, Antonio Albacete. She has nearly double the points of Antonio at this stage. Huge shame that for Antonio and the team. I'd be intrigued to have seen how he got on with a full attempt at that race. As Norby makes his way into the paddock. Great to see Jose Eduardo Rodriguez up there on the podium as well. One of his few overall podiums. But he'll be delighted with that. Steffi really pleased, as you can see down there, blowing kisses to the camera. A big round of applause from the team and a huge hug to Team Schwabentruck as well. Great stuff. Absolutely great stuff. Very well done to Steffi. A lot of hard work paying off for Team Schwabentruck this year. And she continually shows us this epic pace that she's got. Norbert Kish really pleased with that. Great day at the office. A huge jump and a hug to the team. They're the races that are certainly a massive challenge for this team, is reverse grid races and coming through the pack. Not just having the pace, but cleanly making it past the other drivers as well. And a huge hug from Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, his mum. And Janine Meyer down there as well. A well done and a pat on the back from Lena. And she's down there to speak to some of the drivers for us.
Of course, I want to hear from all the fast guys first. And what a race, what a fight. And back on third position. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I have a very tough race. And the third place for me is very good. I'm fast in this weekend. So I try tomorrow, push more, and if possible, take the first position or the first or the second race.
But you did very good defending and not breaking your truck. I think that's like on a very small limit in between crashing and not crashing.
Yeah, I have a lot of traffic in the track, so we try to push and have a caution with some guys in my rear. It's a very good race.
Congratulations. See you on the podium later on. So his family is there to cheer for him as well. Very proud mom, almost to tears. Steffen Faas, of course, also smiling. Finally, he managed to race through and he even made a nice position. I will speak to you later on. You first get your trophy and then you come back to me. And where's Steffi? I really was hoping to speak to her. Where is she? Steffi! Where's Steffi? I think she already walked away. So come with me. We will find her. There she is. Come on. It's time for my camera guy to run again. I know he loves it. And it's not hot at all, so why not having a quick run and maybe a little shaken picture? Sorry to everyone who's like watching, but we have to manage to catch Steffi, and there she is. I will catch her. I really, really want to speak to her. Just like I said, it's going to be her birthday on Monday, and I was hoping for her to make some trophies. We really have to run. It's like you racing in the truck. It's me running on the racetrack. Congratulations.
Seems like I'm faster by hockey. Yeah. Driving, huh?
You will earn your golden elbows for 100% from me by the end of the season. And what a race.
Yeah, it was very difficult. You know, I had the chance in the first corner to overtake Jose, and then also in the first lap, last corner, Bradley. So I was very happy to stay in front, but yeah. I was not fast enough. That's why I have to fight hard, but I think it was all fair. Also, Jose was completely fair. I was not able to keep Norby behind me because a win would be nice, but a second, we are really, really happy.
It's a really, really nice trophy to take home. More to come tomorrow, hopefully.
Yes, hopefully. I think we will change something for tomorrow. And hopefully we will get a little bit quicker.
All right, so I see you tomorrow. See you on the podium now. Thank you so much. What a strong and fast lady. And here's some highlights from race number 2 for you out there.
Thank you, Lena. Fantastic to hear from our drivers right after the thrill of these races. And we look back at some of the wonderful pictures as we got ready to go from the grid here at the Slovakia ring. Unfortunate not to have Antonio Albacete out there on the circuit due to the clutch issue that they had, but that left a hole in the grid for a number of our drivers to try and fill, and Bradley Smith was the one starting on pole position with all the battles going on behind. Steffi got through in the opening moments, with Jose Eduardo Rodriguez next up to try and find his way by. René Reinert and Sasha Lenz continued their fight from the earlier race this afternoon as well. Loads of fights in the Titan class were making their way past Bradley Smith, and eventually he would lose the lead of the Chrome class to Stefan Faas, who would get down the inside in the Freightliner. Norbert Kisch once again making his way through the order with incredible elegance in the big red #1 machine. But Stefan Faas taking the lead and going on to win the Chrome class was one of the really feel-good stories of that race. Very positive podiums to see. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez fighting hard for that as well to get his 3rd place, his first podium of the season. But ultimately, at the front of the pack, it was Norbert Kisch who broke free and managed to take his 2nd win on the bounce, his 8th win of the season in the 2025 Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. He was already drifting and celebrating, knowing that the fans could see it before the race was over, and deservedly so. He now has a busy night ahead of him as he competes in the iRacing Nürburgring, 3rd and 2nd and 1st in each of their classes. We have David Nemeth, the sales director of the Slovakia ring, who will be presenting the trophies for the overall podium, and then Janine Meyer for the Chrome podium. Chrome podium is something that we often see for Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, but he's a Titan driver this year and he gets his first podium of the season. Steffi Halm, always a very, very well-received driver is Steffi, but listen to the cheer for Norbert Kisch. This effectively his home race this year, as we've mentioned. No race at the Hungaroring in 2025. So to be right around the corner means a lot to him and his fans who come out to support him. There's David Nemeth. As I mentioned, sales director of the Slovakia ring. He hands out the trophies to each of the drivers. 2nd place going the way of Steffi Halm. Her first trophy of the weekend. And Norbert Kisch will now receive the race-winning trophy. And just listen to this reaction. If that doesn't put a smile on your face, I don't know what will. Norbert Kisch now will get the national anthem of Hungary. And there we go. They will now pose for pictures. And they will all enjoy the sunshine. It's time for champagne. They're going to get drenched, either that and, well, after the changing of the caps, of course. I always forget about that. Well, either they're all going to get drenched or the fans are. I can imagine that Norby will soak all of these fans here in Revenge Racing t-shirts with Hungarian flags. And yeah, there you go. Brilliant stuff. Looks like he's aiming at one person in particular in the middle there. That's great to see. Great to see. What a feel-good atmosphere here at the Slovakia ring. You'll love to see it. Well done to Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and Steffi Halm as well for their respective podium finishes. And this is how the championship looks, hopefully now, after the second race. It's 135 points to Norbert Kisch. Jochen Hahn now has over 100 points in his pursuit 34 points back, 80 points for Steffi Helm, ahead of René Reiner on 72, Sasha Lenz on 62, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and Antonio Albacete next up. Mark Taylor in 8th ahead of Bradley Smith, with Clemens Hecker completing the top 10 on 12 points. Next up should be Jonathan Andre and John Newell, both tied on 7 points apiece. Stefan Faas on 6, Louis Requenco 5 points, Luke Garrett 2 points after a bit of a difficult start to his campaign and also this weekend. Now we have the Chrome class podium. More reception for Norbert Kiss. John Newell gets his 3rd place podium spot. Bradley Smith, more good points for his championship. At least he finished ahead of Mark Taylor. But the first win of the season in Chrome for Stefan Faas. And a huge smile on his face, deservedly so, after a lot of hard work from the team. David Nemeth will be giving these trophies out as well, I believe. Janine Meyer, the head of operations for the ETRA, the European Truck Racing Association, the series promoter, gives out the trophy to Bradley Smith. And a handshake to the other drivers as well. And Janine will hand out the trophy to Stefan Faas. And he will be over the moon to have that, I am sure. Great big smile on his face. Almost a smile of relief, I imagine. And now we should get the German national anthem. Stefan Faas over the moon with that. John Newell and Bradley Smith either side of him. 3 very accomplished drivers. And they too will soak the fans in champagne, I am sure. Fans of all generations here to see our drivers, which is great. And there you go. Bradley Smith and John Newell certainly know how to spray the champagne. That is a much-deserved swig of champagne, that, for Stefan Faas. That one will be, like I say, huge relief for him and the team. After all the technical issues, they come here to Slovakia and get a 2nd place and then a 1st place in Chrome. That will mean the world. Absolutely mean the world. They're the champagne-soaked fans of Norbert Kish and all of our drivers in the media pen as such. But look at that. Bradley Smith still leads the Chrome Championship. An interesting weekend so far for Chrome, with Mark Taylor in 2nd place. John Newell behind, but John's still very much in the fight. He's got an extra point clear of Clemens Hecker. Louis Requenco in 5th place, with Luke Garrett 6th, ahead of Jonathan Andre and Stefan Faas, who will now make his way up the order. Christian Ruppert 9th, ahead of Stefan Kirsch in 10th position. So a very, very interesting race there, and certainly one that changes the course of the championship slightly. Our final race of the day. We still have qualifying and 2 more races coming up tomorrow. The team podium now taking place, with Ginny Meyer giving out the trophies there as well. And I believe in just a moment we will be handing back down to Lena for a final interview of the broadcast, hopefully with one of our Chrome drivers, maybe Stefan Faas as well. It'd be great to speak to him. I'm going to go for now, and I will be back at 10:15 local time tomorrow, and I will indeed hand down to Lena.
Yes, and a very, 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 very happy Stefan Faas. Congratulations.
Vielen Dank, vielen Dank.
Yeah, he's really happy, of course. I mean, like Lausitzring, where you're like, okay, now finally we have to like race, or like, when was the point where you were about to give up?
Ja, wir haben sehr viel umgebaut jetzt in den Tagen zwischen hier und Lausitzring und haben da einiges gefunden, haben was gefixt und 2 andere Teile eingebaut. Und ja, so wie es aussieht, scheint es zu funktionieren. Natürlich, ich liebe die Strecke hier, mir liegt die gut. Das merkt man halt dann auch. Das kommt halt dazu, ne?
So he loves Slovakia ring a lot, and they made the effort. They changed stuff again, 2 specific things on his truck, and obviously they made the right choice, and it chose the right parts to be changed again. And your mechanics, you have a couple of new guys. They are also working for Mercedes, I heard. So like a lot of developments also going on in the background, and they were so happy when you made it to the finish line. You should have seen their faces. And one guy, he even got stitches. He banged his head beforehand. So there's really a lot going on.
Ja, wir haben so hart gearbeitet und ich bin so stolz drauf mit dieser Truppe. Absolut geil. Schade, dass unser Martin nicht dabei ist, ja. Aber ich denke, am nächsten Rennen wird er wieder mit dabei sein und dann kämpfen wir weiter.
So there is still missing out on Martin, who is also a member of the Fast family, but he's very, very happy about the current mechanics who are working along, and they had very long nights. No complaints at all. They were never giving up, and it's been paying off. So congratulations. There's a 90s party going on down this road, so I think I will see you in front of stage 2.
Ich denke nicht, nein. Ich denke, ich werde mich jetzt gepflegt ausruhen und auf den morgigen Tag vorbereiten.
All right, so he's taking it more slow. So tomorrow night there's also a night coming, so you can always celebrate. There's always a reason for it. So congratulations again. Thank you so much for watching. More caps to come, by the way. I just started collecting caps. People handed them over to me, and so you will see more. Every team has caps, and whenever you come over to the next racetracks and you're becoming a fan of one of the drivers, just walk by and ask for a cap. So right now it's Randy Reiner, the number 77. Let's see who's gonna make the race tomorrow and the win tomorrow, even on my head. 10:15 it is. Have a lovely evening, and thank you so much. See you in a bit.